I fucking hate my neighborhood. I hate it. It's terrible. It's terrible. And the best thing about it is there's nothing good about it. Actually, the best thing about it is that it's close to my school. Um, but yeah, living here has actually made me realize that I want a lot of money. I want a lot of money. I want to be like those wealthy people who don't want to live by poor people. And it has also made me realize and see and just experience the hell that is, uh, well, I guess being poor and being, I don't know, gentrified over the years. Although I would more say not being invested in rather than gentrified, but I don't know. Anywho, it's very interesting how you see where you live in a different light after things happen, and it's just it can cause somebody to leave. I guess the most recent example is probably white flight. Just recent historical example is white flight. However, I don't think that was just due to violence. I think that was just due to black people. And the obviously redlining, all that other fun stuff. But I think even the people that are left in those neighborhoods, it's sad. It is real sad because it's nothing but old people and then younger people who have no respect for anything and they just have ego. Ego in their neighborhoods that they claim because they grew up there. And while we can contribute poverty to people's circumstances of fighting and shooting, I think there's also a level of personal responsibility that needs to be taken. But I also understand, which was helped me through, which the show Boondocks helped me understand, the influence of media that it takes upon people at a young age. As Riley, the character, is a representation of what it means to just watch a bunch of things and like take it on as it being cool and all this other stuff. And actually it like warps your reality and can cause you to do and say stupid things, and to have this sort of inflated ego that you probably don't need in any way, shape, or form. Probably wondering why I chose to live here. As I said, it was cheap. Maybe I didn't say that. It was close to my school and it was cheap. That was kind of it. Everything else was like, I don't know, insane. Which leads me into thinking and having this idea that a college apartment should only be $500 a month minimum, or maximum, actually. I don't think you should be charging $1,000 for somebody to stay in an apartment that they're only going to be in for 5 years or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think it's really dumb. I think it's ridiculous. I understand you're trying to get money out of these rich parents, but I think at a certain point, if you really want to keep people safe or whatever, especially in a big city, I think you would really want, probably really want all the students in the general vicinity of really close together instead of all spread out. But, I don't make the rules or suggest the rules. Yeah. Anywho, don't like the neighborhood. Can't wait to leave. I hope I'm alive to leave. And the other thing is, I think that I didn't realize this, but people who go to grad school are pretty well off in a lot of ways. Apparently it's a big deal to go to grad school. I didn't really think of that when I was applying. I really only applied on a whim because I needed something to do after undergrad, because I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? And I chose social work because it was like, oh, I know this field. Turns out I know it really well. But not knowing the students who go in this field, didn't realize that it was like 80% women. What? I just knew social workers from the ones that I had interacted with growing up. And then being in social work school and like learning things. Things that I think personally are common sense in dealing with children and dealing with rules and reporting things. Maybe I think of it as common sense because I grew up with a mother who was one, but I'm also just like, no duh, why wouldn't you do whatever the fuck you need to do? But a lot of the people who go into this field, I guess, are well off in some way. I think I talked about the tree metaphor where you're grounded in your life and your life is kind of taken on a path where you're like, okay, I'm gonna go classical liberal education, finish it, probably go grad school or whatever, do higher education, and my life will be set because you'll have an education, you'll probably have a job because your family has connections, even if it's not a big family, it's still a family that works, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and so the idea of poverty is something that's, it like stays the same because it's, poverty, but it's viewed in a different lens of like saviorism. An example I can think of is first year, second semester, there was a reading we had to do. I don't remember the exact reading, but the reading had to do with black people and Black Lives Matter. And apparently it was offensive. Okay, so yeah. I guess I have to get the racial makeup of the class, maybe. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Alright, class, like what? 25 people? Me. Okay, so there are like 2 dark-skinned black people, and then there's like one that could be seen as racially ambiguous. Okay, I'm sorry. 3 dark-skinned black people. One of them's African. And then there's another person who could be seen as racially ambiguous, or as society calls it now, light skin? I don't know. That also has a bad connotation to it when you're talking about other things. But anyway, so, oh wait. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. Me, 2, 3, 4 dark-skinned black people. Sorry, I keep adding to the pile. And 1 light skin, so 4.5. And yeah, there was a reading. Oh, and then everybody else is like white. So, I'm sorry, white, and then, oh shit, I keep forgetting. There are 5 dark-skinned black people, and then there's 1 light skin, so 5.5. And then, 1 Asian individual, and then everybody else is white. Did I get that right? I think I got that right. All right. So, there's a reading that we did, Black Lives Matter, amazing. I don't remember the reading. But apparently, let's see, 1, 2, 3, at least 3 other students who were not of the Negro race thought the reading was offensive in some way. I think the writer had said something, or had a viewpoint that was, I guess, I don't know, not, I vaguely remember the reading. I think it was like, I think it had to do with like putting onus on Black Lives Matter or something. Either putting onus on BLM or like blaming BLM for something, but it was something along those lines. And some of the students found it to be insensitive and what have you, and requested that the professor not use the reading anymore, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so when I talk about saviorism of black people, because black people are the pinnacle of poverty, I guess, in the United States. I don't, like, when I think of these things, I'm just like, I guess, yeah, I understand the idea. You don't want to lead people to have this rabbit hole idea of any sort of largely held black movements, or uh, or just like you don't want to. I don't know. Like this is okay. So oh my god, this is so stupid. Okay, so I had this idea of like, why don't you just ask the black students what they think? But then that puts it in the category of all black people think alike. So, and I don't want to do that shit. I don't know. Maybe it's not a big deal that they thought it was insensitive and they reported it to the teacher. I don't fucking know. I just think, on its face, it's the whole saviorism thing of like, this is offensive to me, but it's offensive to me in the context of what we say about things today. And I think the writer who wrote it was white, probably. And so maybe that's why it was extremely, or not extremely, but more offensive than it was or whatever. If I can find the reading, I will. I'm not going to be able to find the fucking reading. What am I talking about? Oh, maybe I will. Oh, maybe not. Anyway, didn't understand why people were upset. I thought it was like, whatever, it's a fucking reading. It's talking about, like, if you... I like critiquing things because I think critiquing is important, because if you don't critique things or you don't notice your flaws, you can't really change in any way. It's kind of like this stupid, like, fucking cartoon idea of, like, you doing a... What is it called? Oh, God, what is it? A mirror match? When you have the bad guy has the same powers as the good guy type shit, and then you gotta, like, really think about, oh, shit. He does this one thing that I don't do, and I can exploit that and win. And I think that there is a... Maybe that had nothing to do with what I was talking about. Okay, flaws, understanding it, critiquing. Yeah, critiquing is important. I can understand that you want to critique, like, people who do wrong. Understandable. But I think you should critique yourself also, and not just people who do wrong. And critique people on your side of whatever aisle that you're on. I don't know. Yeah. So you're probably wondering how I got from poverty and bad neighborhoods to that. A lot of those same students do not live in the neighborhood I live in, because I live in what is called, historically, I hear it's called this, the Black Bottom, which is like where all the black people live. And I guess they're on the bottom. Or it's the bottom of a certain street. I don't know. Theoretically, I'm past it, but I don't know. I count the whole thing there. I don't know. It's one of those areas where it's like you cross a certain street and it's like a whole different area. And different area, I mean like it's like prosperous, no rundown places, all this other shit. And then you cross into my area and it's like, what is this? Why are the buildings all shit? And why is there a crackhead on the corner? Like, this is what it is. Like, it's the duality of man, or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess the idea here is I don't think that a lot of people who come from super duper stable backgrounds in any way, shape, or form can actually help any sort of unstable person in an unstable background actively. You can sympathize and empathize. I don't know. Empathize is now a word. Fuck you. You can offer assistance. You can, God, what would you call it? What do you do? Volunteer? You can do all those things, but you can't really, if you're not going to cross over into the realm of, you don't have to live there, but like policy or putting yourself out there in a governmental way, I don't think you're going to do shit. And I think from what I've seen is a lot of people, or at least a lot of people in the program that I am in, don't really want to do that. Because I guess politics is annoying, which I understand it being annoying now because of I look like fucking alfalfa, because of Donald Trump and all this other shit. But I feel like in that way, yeah, you need to try a little harder. You need to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, and unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people are willing to do that. I don't know. I think you just kind of need to learn to be a dick, but also be really kind to the people who are a dick to you, which is, I don't know, kind of weird. Because, yeah, you kind of want revenge and all this other stuff, but it's also just like, well, you know what? We're all going to die anyway, so I might as well treat you like a halfway human being, and we'll see where this goes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if any of that shit made sense, or if I even strung it together in a proper way. But what I do know is that I am correct, and I'm always correct. Let's recap. The place I live is not good. The maybe not hypocrisy, but the disconnection of seeing that you will live in that you have lived in a very well kept area, in a very well kept life your entire life, and then now you want to come back down to, or just come down to the depths of hell and help people up without actually doing the real, well, maybe you are doing the real work by therapizing and assisting and what are those things called? Nonprofit work. But I think there's a certain point where you need to, you know, I don't know, you can do something. Because I don't know the stats on this, but I'm sure millions of social workers graduate every year, and somehow we're still in the same place we were 30 years ago. That is insane in the membrane. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. If you come from a very well financial background, congratulations. You don't need to feel bad about it, but you also need to be real about what you're actually going to be doing in this sort of field, because there are a lot of people who are all kinds of fucked up, and no matter how much you empathize or sympathize, you're never going to realize that they know you're not going to be around for very long. And the one thing that a lot of these people need is money. Money solves problems. If you didn't know that, now you know. Yeah, I don't know. Am I critiquing people who are trying their best? Yeah, but I'm also critiquing people who aren't trying at all and who say they're trying because they're doing a program that costs money. Congratulations. You were just like all the other millions of people who spent millions of dollars on going to a university that is genuinely overpriced. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. And for me, before I leave this video and you're acting like, well, who are you? Who am I? I am somebody who, remembers 0.5 seconds of being born. And then it was like a cutscene where I then woke up in a bed and a woman saying the rain's gonna get you, and then it was a whole host of moving around. I feel like LeBron James, and I hate that he said this. When he won the first title, he was like, I'm not even supposed to be here right now. LeBron James, you're 6'9", 200 some odd fucking pounds. Shut the fuck up. You were right where you're supposed to be. You were the number one sought after high school basketball player in the world. And that you're going to sit there and say, I'm not supposed to be here? Bitch, I'm not supposed to be here. But somehow I'm here. And if I'm going to make it out, God willing, yeah, I don't know. This is a very main character syndrome thing. Just like all the people on my back. Look at them. They're so cool. Yeah, I am not supposed to be, I would say, in this program with a master's degree. However, I would say I benefited from white privilege. I know, shocker. And it came with a lot of pain and mental anguish that even, I don't know. I wanted to say something about Chris Cobain shooting himself, but I couldn't think of any sort of reference or joke. However, his letter before he killed himself, suicide note, very good suicide note. You should read it. I don't know why I said that. But anyway, just like LeBron James, I feel like I don't believe I should not be here because of all of the different things. But due to the fact that I, just like all the women in the world, I persisted. And I don't know, I guess persisted with barriers. I don't fucking know, it sounds retarded. I made it somehow. I don't fucking know. My mind is full of references. I can't get over this shit. When I said I made it, I literally had that song, We Made It by Busta Rhymes featuring Linkin Park, that was in Madden 09. Insane. In-fucking-sane. I gotta use the bathroom sometime. What time is it? I gotta get up tomorrow. I'm very glad I get to get up tomorrow. I think it's the first time I ever said that. Anyway. It was 100 degrees out today. I gotta use the bathroom. And it's probably gonna be 100 degrees for the next 2 weeks. But yeah. So if you're born in a very good family, be thankful, but understand that you're not gonna do as much help as you think you're gonna do because you don't care that much. Well, that's not that you don't care. It's you want the family you had growing up, or you want the lifestyle you had growing up. And maintaining that lifestyle is very difficult if you're going to work in the depths of hell in society. So, good luck. Make your choice. What do you want to do? Do you want to do the help that you said you wanted to do, or do you want to do it from up here? For me, I currently live in a subdivision of hell. But I would like to rule hell, and to rule hell, you need to have power, and to get power in this context, you need education. So I will continue with my education until I feel like I've had enough, and I will take that education and rule it. Well, not rule it. I will rule the underground with the power I've gained through the education I've spent millions of dollars on. Actually, not millions. I'm only in $144,000 of debt, so it's not too bad. But it's like, and theoretically, it shouldn't be that high because I went to college for free in undergrad, but I still took out loans just to have money to spend on shit that I didn't need. Wow, so stupid. But yeah. Whatever. I gotta use the mouth so bad. Anything else I want to say? Anything else? I think that might be it. If things didn't happen to you, get over it. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? You think am I being a little bitch? Am I being an asshole, or am I correct like I normally am? You tell me. But I can't wait to rule the underground. It's going to be real fun for everybody. I genuinely can't wait. Can't wait. I just need a little bit more time. All right, that's it.